Greetings, beloved beings, fellow travelers on this planet, and guests from other realms. My name is Izobel Freeman, and I'm going to be doing a general reading for the collective for the week of July 30th through August 5th, 2017. Well, it's the first quarter moon after our epic wish-making opportunity for last week's new moon at 0 degrees Leo. I hope you all had a chance to put in some great orders with the universe. I know I did. I can't wait to see what results our good intentions yield during eclipse season. This week is a little less active astrologically, but it doesn't mean there's nothing going on. As I said in last week's reading, I'm doing my best to give you all a basic astrological forecast for the week in addition to reading cards, because we often get messages regarding that week's energetic climate, and the cards themselves also have so many astrological correspondences. I want you all to have context for these, so here we go. Tomorrow, Monday the 31st, Venus enters Cancer. Finally, some soft, warm, and loving heart-based energy to wrap around ourselves like a big comfy blanket and just burrow into. Cancer is sensitive, romantic, and sometimes a bit sentimental. And when Venus enters this sign, it's time to tell those closest to you how much they mean to you. Optimum activities include snuggling, having sincere heart-to-heart conversations, and performing acts of kindness. Venus remains in Cancer throughout August's eclipse season until the 26th, so she'll be providing a background of much-needed love and security for whatever dramatic events we might experience during this time. Remember what I've been saying in my last 3 readings about how vitally important it is to stay heart-based, folks. If we all focus on love and inspiration rather than fear and desperation, I have every confidence that we can weather any storm together. I know it sounds hokey, but love really is the key here. The more you can trust your heart and your own life's path, the more strength, synchronicity, and just plain magic you'll manifest into your own experience, no matter what's going on out there in the world. Speaking of world craziness, on Thursday, August 3rd, Uranus turns retrograde, and this means the beginning of a period of great change as we all start to turn inward and examine our circumstances, beliefs, and life purpose. Uranus is the planet of revolution, self-expression, and non-conformity, so expect the unexpected. Based on my last couple of readings, many of you are already in the process of radically reinventing yourselves, and Uranus retrograde can really add fuel to that fire, giving you the courage to release any limitations that may have previously been holding you back. Watch for dramatic events on the world stage to unfold before Uranus goes direct again on January 2nd, 2018. The rest of this year is going to be full of surprises, and it's going to be up to us to remain open and adaptable so we can best embrace the coming changes. On Friday, August 4th, Pluto squares Jupiter, giving your will to succeed a big boost. Whatever it is you want to do in life, this formidable pair of planets squaring off with one another will make you want to do that thing regardless of the cost or regardless of whom you might need to step on along the way. So make sure to stay grounded and, again, heart-centered, so you don't let your raw ambitions run away with you. It's absolutely possible to channel this gale force energy for the highest good, so lead with your heart and let that Venus in Cancer gentleness turn your thirst for power into a brave, noble, and kind desire to bring your light to the world in a way that will best serve everyone, including you. After these intense bursts of revolutionary and motivational energy on Thursday and Friday, we're going to need a couple of days to process it all and put the pieces of the puzzle together into some sort of coherent picture. Luckily, we're getting a break this coming Saturday and Sunday, right before we encounter the lunar eclipse on the 7th. I'll talk more about the lunar eclipse in next week's reading, but for now, just know that it's coming and it's going to be transformative. All these weeks leading up to the Great American Solar Eclipse on August 21st are about giant shifts in how we see ourselves and the world, and how we manifest as individuals and as a collective. Really important stuff is at work here, so I hope you'll all stay tuned as we see what the next month or so has in store for our human family. Okay, getting to the cards. As I have in my previous readings, I'm going to start by lighting my little candle for my beautiful spirit kitty Pinky, who is in physical with me until 2015, and was and still is my greatest spiritual teacher. Okay, guides, help us out to have a really great reading. Last week's was really dramatic, so I'm hoping we get some good energy, especially with that Venus coming into Cancer this week. Now, if you've seen my previous readings, you know I like to start out with just seeing what card is on the bottom for our overall energy. Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. Well, if this isn't Venus, I don't know who is. The Queen of Air generally could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra in your life, or someone who exhibits those aspects, or an aspect of yourself that is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. I feel like this is exactly the energy we need for this week, especially with that Uranus retrograde, which is also highly connected to these air signs. Aquarius, the ruling planet for Aquarius is Uranus, and the ruling planet for Libra is Venus. So this has this very Queen of Heaven, very wonderful, no nonsense, but still loving idea of clearing away anything that really doesn't serve you, really getting down to the nitty gritty of who you want to be next, who you want to be now. Yeah, this is a really, really great starting point for us. This whole Queen of Heaven, Venus coming in to sort of anchor us with heart-based energy. Great, wonderful. In preparation for my quick cross spread, I'm just going to start by shuffling these wonderful angel tarot cards in that very loose and intuitive way that allows cards to, like this one, pop up. And as I lay down the spread, I will be explaining the positions to you all. Now, the quick cross is my personal intuitive spread that I came up with for myself. And the first position that I have just laid down is, in general, where we have been or where we are at present as a collective. The second position that I am shuffling for now is present into near future, what some of us may be going into from now. Today and tomorrow feels sort of like the calm before the storm. We're going to get to bask in that wonderful Venus going into Cancer tomorrow and the next day, before it starts to feel a little bit like Uranus retrograde crazy. Next position I'm going for is the top of the vertical that I like to lay down. And this vertical symbolizes the state of the collective, mind or higher mind, heart, and body subconscious wisdom. And as I am shuffling, I am inviting all of my benevolent guides, my angels, all my non-physical friends, and all of your non-physical friends who are heart-based, loving, and interested in our process as a collective. Let's get a mind card. That one looks like it's going to come out. Great. And now one for the heart. I'm really excited for that Queen of Air overall energy. I personally am an Aquarius, and so I really identify with that archetype of being super focused on the heavenly and the revolutionary, and yet being solidly in the heart. So it looks like we've got our mind, heart, and body, subconscious wisdom laid out. This next position is going to be for what can help us on our journey, whether that be physical, emotional, or spiritual aid. Ooh. It's a very warm evening in the Los Angeles area, and these cards are kind of sticky. Oh. Looks like we might have two for this position. It's been a while since that happened. Sometimes we get greedy and we get two cards for one position. Maybe it's just that the guides want to give us extra helping of aid this week. I know last week was a little rough for some of you, and my heart really went out to you. I hope you were able to stay heart-based and find some relief. And that some of you got to take that time out for yourselves and go inside, whether that was through meditation or some other way of retreating from the crazy external world. This last position is what some people like to call the outcome. I like to call it the most probable result from our energy as it stands now. As you know, if you've been reading or if you watched my previous readings, I never like to say that anyone can predict the future, because all of us are creating our future from moment to moment. And the future is always up to us. All right, let's see what we have for our present or recent past. My goodness, guys, Two of Air, back again, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. It's amazing how pernicious this card has been. It's been with us for like the last 2-3 readings, and always near this beginning position. I understand that the energy recently has been really crazy, and the world has been really crazy. This card, if you're just tuning in and you haven't seen my previous readings, this card is about conflicting energies in our lives. Two people, two is generally a number of partnership, but in this case, it's the number of people having different ideas and being unable to agree. Or it could be about us being of two minds and being unable to come down on a decision. Some of you are procrastinating on all the stuff that we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks, about really getting on it, really figuring out what you want out of life and what you're going to be next, and what's important to you. And maybe you've got people that you've been really coming into conflict with. Either you figured out what you want and you're fighting it out with someone else because they don't agree with you, or maybe they don't understand what you're turning into, and that it's new, and that they don't know how to deal with you now. Or you're still of two minds about which direction you are going to go. And I want to take this moment to reassure you all that in this is an opportunity. This is potential fuel for your fire. And at some point, you are going to have that moment of clarity. Air cards are all about the mind, and it's about being able to clear that mind. So let's see where we go from this impasse. Near future, or, present into near future. King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. This is wonderful. This is a new card that has not shown up in the last few readings. A new thing that possibly will present itself for you. Fire cards are all about passion and about your life's purpose and about your divine nature, your true inner fire, the thing that you really love the most coming to the surface to give you aid and to motivate you in ways that you never have been before. This is a court card. It's a king, and this may be a person that is coming into your life or has come into your life who is fiery, like those fire signs, and maybe a person in authority, being a king, and helps you, as it says here, advice from someone creative, helps you to really focus down and kind of helps you to cut through this static of being indecisive or having too many options going on, or maybe just feeling too overwhelmed, and can help you cut away all of that to burn off the things that don't serve you. And it could be somebody who's really inspired, someone creative. Either they're creative in an artistic way, or they're creative in just a life organizational way, or they've just got so much, those people in your lives that are just like Energizer bunnies. You wonder where they get all the energy. They seem to be up the earliest and up the latest. And they're just so into the juice of life. And they've got sort of a direct connection to source. And those of you who are struggling with this impasse, either with yourself or with someone else, it looks like there's a new energy coming in. This is either, like I said, a new person coming into your life, or a part of you that gets so fired up that you've just had enough and you finally are able to put the focus where you need to the most. This is really wonderful. Okay. Where is the mind, or the higher mind of the collective? Queen of Fire. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Wow, everyone. If there were ever... Look, we've got the couple right here. This may be a pair of people coming in to help you very soon. But it looks like we've got the quintessential divine masculine and divine feminine of the tarot. They are the fire of spirit, the fire of transformation, the alchemical couple. And when they come together, it's a bomb blast. It's like a nuclear amount of energy. And either these are aspects of yourself that are going to become balanced. I love putting them next to each other like that. I just want to leave them there. Or this is like that power couple, that dynamic duo who just has it all, going on, and they seem to be unstoppable. And you just wish these people were the benevolent dictators of the world, because they have the spark. They seem to shine from within. My website I call Shiny all the time because of this divine spark that I am always seeking to get close to and to embody in myself. That eternal part of us that is indefatigable and has the power to get through anything, shines from within, self-luminous and unstoppable. Amazing. This is really great. So it looks like some of you understand. Some of you, your mind is in the right place. This is also higher mind coming in to help you. There's a much larger, much more capable, much more confident and powerful part of you that is actually the majority of who you are. And those of you who are still stuck in this place where you can't see around the next corner, and that's normal for being human. We're here in this game of being human and being in physical so that we're normally completely omnipotent, timeless, amazing beings for which everything manifests instantaneously. And so after a while, you have to imagine that gets boring. So we want to come down here and play the game on hard mode for a while. We want a challenge. We want to maybe not know what's going to happen next once in a while. And so this is why we play this human game. It's so exciting to us. And yet, in our greatest moments of need, in our greatest moments of feeling like it's darkest before the dawn and we're 3 feet from gold and we're about to want to quit, this miraculous, beautiful spirit energy it has a tendency to come forth and to help you. These are amazing. To get these in rapid succession just makes me think that, wow, this is really old news and it's going to be over soon. And those of you who are still in this, take hope, because you have it all. You really do. Last week we had a little bit of crazy in the heart, so let's figure out where the heart is this week. The Page of Air, logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans. Truth delivered without tact. Here's the thing. This card has been showing up in this position and in this position as help and as possible, most probable outcome. So we've been learning the lesson of this card for the last 2 weeks. She, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a female person, neither do these people. Sexes don't really matter in tarot. It's more about the energy. And this either person who has come into your life or aspect of yourself that is now coming to the surface and finding manifestation through you. This energy is that very Queen of Air, just like our overall energy that we drew at the beginning. You can see that she's got this sword, and she's got this very, steely, heroic expression on her face. She's ready. And what she's ready to do is carve away all of the things that do not work for you. Remember how I said last week that you guys were going to hero up and you're going to get steely and you're going to get no nonsense about your life purpose? Well, I believe that some of you have. Some of you have really taken that lesson to heart, and now she is squarely in your heart. And with this fiery energy, this amazing balance of both the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects, if this is happening within you, this is amazing, because you have the divine masculine action, massive action, explosive energy, and you have the divine feminine just fuel for the fire, that potential, that everything is possible, and this is your limitless imagination. And then you've got this no-nonsense heart here who is ready to make the tough decisions and really focus on what you want and carve away everything that does not serve you. This really feels like that intense focusing of your laser beam that you're going to get from that Uranus retrograde later in the week. This very air signy Aquarian idealistic energy where you say, why have I been settling? Why have I been settling for less than I deserve? Why have I been settling for something that doesn't quite work for me because maybe I'm scared that I can't get better? I'm scared that I'll lose this person who's not quite jiving with me anyway, and I should maybe look somewhere else. Maybe I will lose this not quite ideal thing that I know so well. But I've had enough. I've had enough, and now it's time to seek something better because it's possible. Because all things are possible, especially with these two. This is great. Let's see what our body subconscious wisdom has to say. 4 of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Yeah, what did I just say about being worried about losing out on on this not so ideal situation that you've already had? And here's the stuff behind you fading into the distance. And as you're worried about that, as you're worried about what you could be losing, you're missing out on this beautiful new opportunity. Some of you are still have that sort of gut feeling that things might not turn out the way you want them. And so maybe it's better to stay where you are, even if it's not ideal. This is that really, that survival instinct, especially located here at the root. The 4 is about your foundation. As I said last week, when you have 4 legs on a chair or you have 4 pillars on a building, you feel like you've got a really solid foundation on which to build something, or a solid piece of furniture on which to rest your weight. And This is some of you being really, really worried about survival, or really, really worried that you can't trust this new energy that's coming into your life, or that things are going to get too up for grabs, things are going to change too quickly, and the rug's going to get pulled out from under you. This is also that, remember we had that root or that foundation card show up in one of our shortcuts last week. This is all about that and all about really wanting that. Water cards are all about how you feel inside. It's all about our emotions. Fire is about passion and transformation. Air is about our ideas and ideals. And this water is about our deep emotional, sometimes subconscious emotional needs. And this could also speak to that whole Venus going into Cancer thing. Cancer is a very security-seeking energy. You just want to feel safe. And this could be focusing on that because everything's been so up for grabs recently, and this whole Uranus retrograde is about to flip the table in ways that we just don't know about. That some of us are looking to the secure and the known, even though it's not ideal. Great. Let's see what I'm getting all excited. I want to clarify things, but I need to see what's next. And we've got these two cards, so I'm going to pull the one that got put down first. Two of Earth, too much going on at once, the need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. See, this is another two, and it's another two that feels a little bit like we haven't been able to make a decision. And this is in the help position, so this transforming into a two of Earth means that we really need to get practical. We really need to get practical and make that decision, and that is what's going to help us. Either we need to seek advice from someone creative and someone who is very confident and can recognize the greatness in us and teach us how to bring forth our own brilliance in our own way, or we need to sit with ourselves in a very practical, not emotional, not reactive space. Earth cards are all about the practical, all about the here and now, all about the very earthly, physical aspects of our lives. And if we're overwhelmed and we have too much going on, we have too many choices, maybe some of us have too many drags on our time, too many obligations, too many people in our face that need stuff from us. And you can see this fairy just kind of wants to run away. Like you get this real feeling that she's just flying away from something. Yeah, we need to go inside, get a little more idealistic about what could be in our lives, get a little more, stop settling, and consider the approach that might feel more fun rather than obligation. Twos can be about being of two minds and being at war with ourselves, but twos can also be this wonderful opportunity for balance and partnership in our lives. So getting practical, focusing, just like this King of Fire is telling us, is going to really help us. And eventually we're going to have to make that decision, the need to make a decision. And let's see what this second card says and see if it enlightens that. Oh my goodness, the Five of Fire is back from last week. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. You've got this thing that's still kind of following us around, and this could be the trepidation that's brought on by the Uranus retrograde. It could also be that crazy Pluto squaring Jupiter thing. When Pluto and Jupiter square off with each other and they look at each other sideways, you got these two really amazingly powerful planets. Jupiter, who just wants to think big and do everything now and be bombastic and move forward without fear. And Pluto, who brings up all of your crap that you need to look at and examine before you run off a cliff. You get so enthusiastic, you just don't look where you're going. And this is, remember, Five of Fire last week was here in the heart about some of you who are afraid because either you had too much going on, and this is, again, too much going on at once, or you had too many people that were giving you crap because you're reinventing yourself and you're trying to come out and you're trying to go in a new direction, but they don't know how to deal with you. And so you can see that these wands are at cross purposes with each other and seem to be at an impasse, except, and 5 is that, again, halfway there number. It's not a 1 and it's not a 9 or a 10. So you feel like you're stuck in the middle. But you can see that even though this situation looks kind of not solvable, this wand actually is in front and is free and clear to move forward. It could come forward and get away from those people, and if it moved, all of these things would just fall down. The only thing that's holding it up is our continued engagement in the situation. If we would just walk away, all of these things would just fall over and vanish behind us. And this is very interesting that we've got these 2 cards that are kind of saying the same thing, except the Earth card in a very practical and 3D physical sense, and this 5 of Fire, just like last week, telling us that our emotions are in turmoil, and that could have to do with crazy making people or too many obligations in our lives. And I am really looking forward to clarifying these 2 because they're so telling us that we need to make that decision and walk away, and that's what will help us inevitably in this situation. Let's see what the most probable outcome is from this energy. 9 of Earth. Wonderful. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. Remember how last week we had that 5 of Earth going on and we were worried about this? It said uncertain self-employment last week. This is that completion number where we're not stuck in the middle anymore. 9 is the number of the end of a cycle. And this 9 of Earth is just this beautiful fulfillment. But you notice that she's here alone. She is the fulfillment in and of herself. She has gotten away from this duality problem, this idea of being at odds with oneself or with other people. And she's gotten focused. She's put in the work. She's done. She's taken this passion and brought it down to earth, made a decision for herself. And once she has come down on a decision and stood on her own 2 feet here, you can see that she is content within herself. And that might be what can help us with this fear that we've got going on, especially if those of you who are afraid of leaving behind people who don't understand you, afraid of going out on your own. You want to be in relationship to others rather than having the courage to go out on your own and really pursue that dream. This 9 of Earth is about having it all. It feels very self-satisfied. And the great secret is that if you change yourself, chances are, remember how last week we had that beautiful partnership card come through, where if you had the tough discussions with people and you were willing to leave that crazy making energy behind, that you might not lose the relationships that are really important to you. In fact, this Venus into Cancer energy that's coming in really means that the people who love you the most will be even closer to you. And those of you who are seeking a soulmate, who may not have found your life partner or life partners yet, once you transform yourself into someone that you love, someone whom you respect, someone whom you can be around yourself and not get nervous or not self-judge or not start to question, second guess everything you do. When you get comfortable with you, comfortable in your own skin, it's amazing how many things around you transform. I can't tell you how many readings I've done where the 9 of Earth shows up and then the very next card is some sort of soulmate card, because that person has become so comfortable with themselves that they attract a perfect reflection, and they end up like this power couple where they're completely well matched to each other. Neither of them is dependent on the other. Neither of them is codependent in any way. They are both rolling out of their own centers. They are both self-powered. They're both completely dynamic and luminous, and all they want to do is then create greater things in the world together. And that just turns out to be super, super powerful and amazing. Yeah, and I want that for all of you. I'm so excited to clarify some of these now. This is a really dynamic spread. Some of the stuff from last week is back. These cards are back from last week, meaning we're still following that theme. Ooh. That was going to be 2 of air, yes. But we have all this new stuff. These are just bomb, so I'm going to clarify the 4 of water. Last week I got a big hit of anxiety from some of you, and I really felt for you, and I wanted so much to give this sort of confirmation to you. And this week it looks like it's coming through, and I have a feeling it's due to that heart-based Venus energy, that Queen of Air that we got at the beginning. 4 of water, please, guys. Give me something to clarify her. There's a completely different feeling underneath this reading. The anxiety has lessened, and there's a really dynamic, these 2 fire cards are just literally on fire. They're giving off this beautiful, here's one, this beautiful, just unconquerable energy, and this is really going to be good. I want to clarify these 2 because they're saying so much about overwhelm and crazy makers. Maybe we're being our own crazy maker. Maybe there's an ego part of us that's just really overactive and is second guessing everything we do, and we really just need it to chill. Is that one? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what we get for the 2 of air. 7 of water. This is a complex decision. The need to do research and stop procrastinating. It's really interesting because this card sometimes looks like it's contradicting itself, because it says you need to do research but stop procrastinating. It's funny. This 7 of water, you always look at these beautiful stars that are above these goblets, and each one of these glowing shinies is a possible choice that you could make. And depending on which one you gravitate towards, you worry that, oh, you're going to miss out on all of these other ones. But if you focus, it turns out that the great secret is that whatever you choose, because it's a lucky 7, because it's the 7 of spirituality, it's the secret star, it's that secret magical power within us to create our own reality. That is the real secret, is that all of us are creating our own reality based on what we believe. And maybe what we need is we need to do more research so that we can feel more heart-based and more sure of our ideals so that we can make this decision. But some of us are stuck in this analysis paralysis, which is what this 2 of air could be. It could be that hamster wheel of you're doing all the research and you're listening to all the pros and cons of stuff and you're listening to everybody's point of view on something. And after a while, it just gets so overwhelming that you can't make a decision and you just want to take a nap or go meditate. And that's exactly what you should do, is take a nap, go meditate, and then just decide, just pick one. And hopefully it's the one that feels more fun. Hopefully it's the one that feels more like joy. And the great secret about this magical 7 is that you're right no matter what you pick. Honestly, because you're divine. Because you're divine, if you just make a decision and go in that direction, you're going to get whatever life wisdom comes out of your chosen path. And you're never wrong. You can go down there and find out that you don't like it so much, but how are you supposed to know unless you decide it? How are you supposed to know unless you try? And actually, the worst thing to do is not to try anything. And that's where some of you have been. This idea, and isn't this interesting that this is sort of saying the same thing, that you can't make a decision. But the 7 is telling you that you have secret wisdom, and it's a water card. So it's secret heart-based wisdom to make whatever you choose the right thing for you. And the way that you do that is to realize that everything is trying to shake out for you no matter what you do. And maybe you make a choice and you figure out that, hey, I don't like this as much. Well, at least now you know that, and you can choose something else. And it's really, the stakes don't need to be so high. Just stop procrastinating. Pick one that feels like joy. You can always change your mind. All right, this root body issue of missing out on an opportunity or being discontent or bored, not opening your eyes to possibilities. Let's see if we can clarify. The moon, Archangel Haniel, important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. This is very interesting. This is a preview of coming attractions because of the lunar eclipse that's coming up. 18 is a 9, so it's this wonderful end of this crazy hamster wheel cycle that you've been on. And the secret to ending this cycle is to go inside, to really get to the root and base chakra of what you really feel and what you really believe, and also opening those doors to your psychic insights. Remember the shortcuts that we were doing last week, where there were many of them, especially the angel therapy cards that we were drawing, were talking about these secret powers of clairvoyance that some of you have and you have not been taking advantage of. These guides, you can see this card, she's like the queen of nature. She's got these beautiful resources all around her, these animal friends, these guides, and these 2 pillars that are very secure and solid. This is a balancing of this 2. This impasse or should I, shouldn't I energy. And what happens is she is the master of 2 worlds. She is not only master of this beautiful, very real physical world, but she's also master of this heavenly, intuitive, very lunar, watery based world. This releasing fears that hold you back. Remember in the astrology section, I was talking about the Uranus retrograde and releasing limitations that have been previously holding you back. This is the time, beginning on Thursday, for real, until the end of the year, basically, until the beginning of next year. We've got this wonderful opportunity to go within and really be idealistic, yet no nonsense about things. Idealistic in the fact that anything is possible. Idealistic being we shouldn't settle anymore. And being no nonsense about not settling. And some of what's going to help us not have that fear about our own survival is connecting to the more eternal world, connecting to all of these resources that we have not previously been tapping into. This is really wonderful confirmation to help us get rid of that creeping fear that things might not work out, when in reality we are magical, eternal beings that are just here playing this game. On the surface, it looks like things might not work out. On the surface, it looks like, oh, complex decision. I don't know. And yes, the monkey mind and this wonderful Queen of Fire sitting up here reminds us that there's a much higher mind than our normal ego-based mind. The monkey mind can't see around the next corner. The monkey mind doesn't know which decision to make. It's going to sit there and hamster wheel forever, like the beach ball that you get on your computer when it's thinking too hard and it's locked up. It's going to sit there and go around and around forever, because in the end, once you get into the heart, all decisions, all paths can lead to heaven. And in fact, they all do. It just depends on your perspective and what meaning that you place on your decision. And this is the magic of being master of 2 worlds, of knowing that once you really balance your internal spiritual, magical self with the physical, you're going to be master of both. How great is that? Okay. This clarifying of this kind of crazy making energy that we need to make a decision about. A 3 of water. a celebration, a wedding, a graduation, or a birth announcement. The need to have more fun. Look at all these water cards. The 3 is this very interesting, and it's another card of completion, not the same as a 9. It's more like the divine masculine and the divine feminine parts of us came together and had this wonderful idealistic child. And this could be a real celebration, like in physical, where, again, remember what I said about soulmates appearing when you become in love with yourself, when you become the person you want to be, you attract the reflection that you really want in a partner, and then the 2 of you can then move on to create something amazing together. This could be a literal celebration or a wedding or a graduation or a birth announcement. This could also be a birth inside of you of a new creative idea, this new thing that you are going to now follow without any more delays. This is really wonderful. And on the end, they have tacked this need to have more fun. And this is the secret to making this decision. I could almost kind of lay this here as a progression of this theme, but these energies are related and we need to make a decision, and the decision needs to be the more fun one. And once we do that, we're no longer going to be like a tug of war at odds with ourselves. We're going to be a 3, a partnership that has come together to make a much more fun result. And whether or not that is an actual child or a creative endeavor that you come together with like-minded people to create, or just a new birth within yourself that you then need to go celebrate and reward yourself for. It's why I really love to roll the reward dice at the end of every reading, because I believe that every time that we put work into ourselves, into our own self-development, and into making these hard choices and really getting more heart-based and more hero-like and becoming that person that we really, really want to become next, we should be celebrating on a regular basis. We should be allowing the heart to sing, because the more you celebrate, the more you appreciate things in your life, the more you find reasons to be happy and to have a party, even if it's just inside yourself for a few seconds or a few minutes while you're meditating. The more you are living in that joy and that passion, the more of these types of energies you are going to attract to yourself. This is really, really wonderful. I think that's pretty clear. This is actually not a problem. This 7 is pointing to the fact that almost all decisions are equal if you're in the heart, because everything must turn out right if you have this joy, if you have this feeling of having already won. And we have. Look at this beautiful, most probable outcome. This powerful, centered, quietly confident person that all of you are going to come out on the end of this journey being. And this mastery, this really deep, root-based mastery that you are going to have. How great is that? I'm really, really excited for you all. Okay, I want to do some shortcuts, and I'm trying to figure out which cards I should use. This is a really wonderful spread, completely different in energy than we have had before. And yeah, there's this beautiful, let's see here, I've got this goddess deck, and I have, I have this this romance angels deck too, because this dynamic divine couple is here. This really speaks to me about two people coming together and making a new life, and possibly those of you who are becoming so wonderful to yourselves that you attract a reflection in a partner. How very cool is that? Let's start out with then the romance angel cards and see what they say. They're all very heart-based, and they feel very much like Venus and Cancer. Venus and Cancer, very romantic, slightly sentimental and soft, and these are great. So let's do my shortcut process, which begins by just seeing what is on the bottom. All right, everyone. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Celebrate. Make sure that you hold this feeling, this amazing feeling of fulfillment, of already having it all, of already being so happy, already knowing that you've won. Joy is magnetic. Even if you don't feel like you have that much to celebrate right now, all of you I know have that little spark in your life, whether or not it's like a pet, or maybe it's a child in your life, or maybe it's just that one beautiful possession that you recently got that you can celebrate. Maybe, I remember, this is really silly, when I got my first luxury wallet from a really high-end designer years ago. And this is going to sound really silly, but the smell of it, the smell of really good leather, or the touch of a high-quality thing, just the textures or the color, or feasting your eyes on something wonderful. Maybe it's the fact that, I don't know, some of you like to cook, or you like to go out and play a sport, or there's somewhere in your life a source of passion, a source of every time you look at it, you either squee, or you laugh, or you can't help but smile. And maybe it's a person. Maybe like I said, it's another person. And the more you can hold this in your heart, the more of this you're going to attract. So the second part in my shortcut process is just for me to cut. Okay. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. See, this is that idea of stop procrastinating. You need to get no nonsense, even if it feels like it's a tough love decision and you're going to lose out on these, I don't know, not so ideal situations that you currently have that maybe you're worried about losing, and realize that you're not losing anything. What you are doing is you're putting your focus on what you actually want so that you can let it in. Sometimes, in order to receive something, we need to open our hands and let go of what we are already clutching so hard. And this feels very much like that. This is confirmation that this is really on the horizon. This fulfillment, this end of a cycle, this balancing of all of the energies within you so that you are working like a well-oiled machine that is idealistic and masterful. And this is going to happen very soon in your life if you decide. So, third part in my shortcut process is I just cut for a second time. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. This is pointing to that Five of Earth that we got last week in this position, where some of you were juggling actual legal issues in your lives, and some of you were trying to really come down on what you were going to do as a very practical way of supporting yourself. It was uncertain self-employment last week, and now it's successful self-employment this week. And this is the idea that whatever it is that is your passion, the thing that you decide that you really want, so that you can let it into your life, and you have all of these wonderful, fiery, driven energies, and this no-nonsense, heart-based energy, and this masterful, intuitive energy coming to help you. And for the last couple of weeks, it has been a theme that if you light your light, if you set yourself ablaze with your passion, with your internal fire, and you go out into the world and you shine that light, and you find a way to make it into a service for the world, or you deliver that beautiful inspired piece of art, or that piece of media, or that new invention, new system, new company, whatever it is that you are working on, that you are giving birth to. If you find a way to do that in the most inspired and passionate way possible, then these things are going to happen for you and manifest in this very real, very, very financially abundant and confident you that comes out in the end. So financial issues, some of you are still worrying how to make that connection or wondering how to make that connection. But if you clearly decide what you want and stop procrastinating and stop getting caught up in this crazy, making distracting energy, and you really come down on what you want and you get focus. This King of Fire is telling you to focus. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now, and it will happen very soon. And the key to all of this is your passion. How amazing is that? Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Queen of Fire says, have passion. All right, as I've said in previous readings, those of you other tarot card readers who would like to use this quick cross spread of mine or this shortcut spread or shortcut process, you are more than welcome to do so. You just need to attribute these spreads to me and link to my website, which is www.shinyallthetime.com. And you can find all the required attribution information at shinyallthetime.com/CC, which stands for Creative Commons. I've made all these spreads available through Creative Commons license for you all to use if you would like to. Right. How great is that? I really love what this is all saying. And I love how much love is coming in now. We haven't really talked that much about soulmates or about romance just yet. A lot of you have been doing a lot of self-work, and that really is starting to pay off. And the more self-work you do, the more you become that person that you really want to be, the more then you can dance more easily and more harmoniously with others. And those of you who are seeking partners, that will turn out much better for you than if you were trying to seek someone when you are not ready yet. It's always better to reflect with someone when you feel confident about you. How great is that? Let's see. What deck do I want to use? There just feels like a lot of beautiful divine feminine coming in, and I'm really excited about Venus putting her magic spell on everything. That Queen of Air, this Queen of Fire, the Moon, and this Nine of Earth are very confident, and even the Page of Air, they're very confident, very much a divine feminine feeling. And for those of you who do identify as masculine, that's not a bad thing. Connecting to this very intuitive, divine feminine part of yourself has the potential to unearth treasures that a lot of society has not been taking advantage of fully for many thousands of years. It's been very patriarchal, very skewed towards a very unhealthy divine masculine idea. But this King of Fire is so lovely coming in our near future because he is so balanced with this. There is no feelings of domination or imbalance in this divine couple at all. These are two people who are in and of themselves complete, and this is really feeling great. But because there's so much divine feminine on the board right now, I kind of want to use this goddess deck from Doreen Virtue. It's a beautiful deck, and it's got goddesses from all over the world and their advice for us. So I'm going to do, oh, and by the way, any of these decks that I use in any of these readings, those of you who would like to acquire them for yourself, I do have a resources section at Shiny All the Time. So if you go to shinyallthetime.com/resources, all of these card decks are listed there and you can purchase them from Amazon. It's really, really wonderful. Okay, so for our shortcut, let's just flip. Anya, leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. How much confirmation do we need? We don't need to stay in this indecision. We don't need to stay playing with these people or situations that do not serve us. And we have all the power we need. We've got help possibly from external, beautiful, dynamic people coming in. Our heart is in the right place, idealistic, possibly impatient. I mean, this Uranus retrograde energy is going to make some of you like super impatient about flexing your new muscles, about self-expressing. And sometimes this truth delivered without tact is going to come blurting out of you, and it might offend those crazy making people who you previously used to be playing with a lot, and they might start to vanish, but in their place is going to come more amazing, inspired individuals. You're going to become more of a master of two worlds. In their place is going to also come in a lot of non-physical aid. This moon card is so powerful, and I'm really seeing it connecting to the eclipse, the lunar eclipse that's coming up on the 7th. And again, I'll talk more about that next week. But the lunar eclipse is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is that lovely Queen of Air energy. And Aquarius, the ruling planet, as I said, is Uranus. And Aquarians do not take crap when it comes to their ideals. And just like the Queen of Air, you are going to get very masterful about standing for who you really are, for using all of the tools, all of your potential, no matter where that might come from, whether it's non-physical aid or physical aid or intellectual. You're going to use all the tools in your tool belt and become this amazing person. But it's going to take a leap of faith, and you're going to need to take that risk because it's going to be so worth it. Look at all this confirmation that you're getting. Okay, let's cut. Mawu, Mother Earth, you are called upon to help with environmentalism. You can notice that all the earth is kind of clustered out here at the outcome. To be able to enjoy life's little luxuries, to spend quiet time alone, to have successful self-employment, this points to the fact that we can no longer be compartmentalized. It can't be this impasse, us versus them, always being at war with each other. It's not about competition, everyone. It's about cooperation. And if you can find a way, just like these two amazing fire beings are cooperating, if you can find a way to achieve that balance so that you're thinking about the planet holistically, you're thinking about our entire human family and all the beings and all the wonderful resources that we have on this home, our planet Earth. The more that we can pull together and realize it's not us versus them, it's just us. It's just us on this planet. And we're all connected. And the more that we can enrich that connection and, spending quiet time alone, this is that meditation and connecting to the planet. Look how much beautiful earthly abundance both of these connected beings have when they are at one with nature and not fighting against it, not just trying to get theirs. And that actually reminds me of that Pluto-Jupiter square that I was talking about in the astrology section. This idea to look at things beyond just you and what you can get. This idea that when you think of everyone, then everyone will think of you. I've been saying in previous readings that there's no quicker way to this very earthly, rich, monetary result than to figure out a way to shine your light and to serve the maximum amount of humans in the most sustainable ways possible, the most generous and heart-based and loving ways possible. And we need to all remember that we're in this together. And the more that you can connect with the planet, the more than she can connect with you and give you this divine wisdom. This is also the wisdom of, you notice this moon is down here at the base or the root or subconscious wisdom position in the body. And this is about being able to reach down and root yourself to your Mother Earth and to hear her quiet wisdom. She doesn't speak loudly, but if you connect with her, you will be so secure. This worry about survival, how much more can we guarantee our own survival than to take care of this beautiful world that we live on? And this is wonderful. This is great confirmation. I'm going to cut. Sekhmet, be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. This is wonderful. Sekhmet is this fearless lion energy, this gold energy. And remember, the moon went into Leo last week, and we're in the Leo lunar cycle that is leading up to that beautiful total solar eclipse on the 21st of August at, I believe, 28 degrees Leo. And this golden lion energy that tells you about your own strength. This is also related to the strength card in tarot, which has the same energy. And in the angel tarot, it's the 11, which, is that wonderful two pillars again behind this moon. You can see the pillars behind her, one and the other. And this is pointing to our balancing, our mastery of both the spiritual and the physical. How wonderful is that? And this is your courage. This is that courage that some of you need to come out of this situation, this decision that you've been afraid to make because you're worried either about what people will think of you, or you're very, very worried about the realities of your own survival, like this Four of Water is talking about. But Sekhmet is saying, you are stronger than you think you are. You've got strength that you have not even tapped into, and this may be pointing to your greater clairvoyance and all of your guides, all of the help that you have in non-physical that is just waiting to come forth. But again, season of Leo, this lunar eclipse and this solar eclipse. You can almost see that it looks like she's got this sun behind her on her headdress. So I believe that great things are in store if you reach inside yourself. Your strength assures a happy outcome. You're getting this confirmation that find the courage, get passionate, just like the romance angels were saying. Get passionate, find your fire, and make that leap of faith. Connect to the planet, care about the collective, realize that you're not alone, that you're deeply connected to everyone else on this planet and everyone in non-physical, and you're going to come out as this masterful, very abundant, very self-confident person, who then, it looks like we're getting hints, may attract either partners or new community, new collaborators to replace these crazy makers that you may be thinking that you're losing, and you're not losing. You're upgrading. Let's think about it like that. You're upgrading. How great is that? What a wonderful second shortcut. I'm so glad that we're getting previews of that Leo energy. Leos have no problems standing up for themselves or liking themselves in general. We can all take a lesson from them. So yeah, this is really encouraging stuff, especially I realize because last week was a challenging one. This one is still challenging. We've got some crazy energy. Some of you are that strength is going to come through in spades on Friday when that Pluto square Jupiter thing happens, and you're going to have to maybe remember to consider everyone else on the planet and not just you. But I see most of you really being able to balance that. I don't see that being a problem for you. I think that you're going to remember to remain heart-based, this need to have more fun, this make the decision that is more fun. Go inside, get connected to your spirituality and aspects of you that you may have not been listening to before. You've got all this help that's coming. You've got your hearts in the right place, even if, that Uranian thing may cause you to flip the table a little more violently than you need to. At least it will get flipped and the slate will be wiped clean, and you'll be able to start from a place that you really, really love. And that's fine. You'll learn to get your balance, and this is going to result in this beautiful mastery. I love what this spread is saying. I think it's so much fun. Let's do our Angel Answers card. on that note, what do they have to say for us? If you believe, yes, absolutely. What did I say about this decision? It really depends on what you believe. It really depends on what outcome you see for yourself. If you see yourself achieving all of your dreams, becoming this beautiful, powerful being, having so much to celebrate, having passion in your life, just like the romance angels were talking about, if you believe. And even the Sekhmet card was talking about the fact that believe in your own power. Everything will turn out for your greatest good. And look at this beautiful angel. She's so peaceful, and she has the entire planet in her hands. And in her hands also, she has what is called the Merkaba, or the light body, or the Metatron's cube. This is an esoteric device that can bend space-time and can produce beautiful and sometimes instantaneous results if you believe. And it really, it can be activated the more you go inside, the more you learn about your own energetic being, the more you connect to your guides. You can get such wonderful, inspirational guidance if you are willing to go into the internal path. I know that a lot of people like to skate on the surface, and they like to say that there's nothing beyond the physical world and what I can do practically with my two hands, and that's it. But to me, it's sort of like going through life again on super hard mode. And those of you who want to do that, that's totally fine. I'm not judging. I commend you for wanting to play the game on, legendary. But if you are willing to go within and use those other muscles, it's kind of like if you're playing on hard, you're playing the game with one arm tied behind your back, and you don't have both sides of you working in tandem as a dual processor in order to be as powerful as you possibly can and manifest this completely balanced one being. This card is pointing to the fact that if you are willing to leave the door cracked for that larger world to start coming in, if you believe, you're going to start seeing evidence of all of these amazing powers that are not 3D based. And you're going to have the 3D stuff too. This Nine of Earth is confirming that. You're going to have all the 3D stuff, all the stuff that you love, the cars, the money, the home, the time to do whatever leisure activities that you want, the fun things, the travel, the beautiful partner or partners, everything earthly that you want. This card is pointing to this, but also you will be this amazing wizard, this sorcerer, who is able to harness not only 3D technology and 3D science, but 4D and 5D and above. Once you start playing with this stuff, it becomes very, very powerful, as long as you can be heart-based. As long as the basis for what you are doing is love, then there is no limit to what you can achieve if you believe. Wonderful. What a triumphant reading. I am so happy about all of this, especially since things were looking a little dicey last week. And I hope those of you who were having a hard go of it have had a chance to go within and find some peace. And I hope you're looking at this and seeing that we're starting from a similar place with some similar energies that we did from last week, but how amazingly triumphant that everything is turning out for this week, if we believe. And if we're able to surf that sort of crazy Uranian, Plutonian, Jupiter square thing going on, Uranus retrograde. But because we've got Venus, because we've got the Queen of Air, and the Queen of Fire, it looks like, looking out for us, I think we can do this. I'm really feeling confident for all of you. This is one of the most rooted and calm and collected and just serene cards in this Angel Tarot deck. I really love her. I think it's a gorgeous place to end. And on that note, I'm going to choose one of our reward victory dice and see what it is that we should do to celebrate the need to have more fun. A celebration. We need to celebrate because we are all doing really great work, and I think that we're going to be in such a good place when that eclipse comes around, and also when the solar eclipse comes around. Okay, I chose one die, and let's take a roll. Okay, ladies or men, buy a handbag. Oh, it's so funny. I love it when guys carry a nice bag. There are so many of them, and so many of them I am jealous of, because sometimes the guys' handbags are just so much cooler and more like authoritative, especially from the really high-end designers. All of you, this is going to sound so silly, and a lot of the things these dice say are seemingly silly on the surface, but here's the thing. Those of you who are carrying a handbag that doesn't serve you, that is really, really cheap, that makes you feel not very valuable, I'm not judging that. Again, you can play the game however you want, but for myself, I know that, and this is not just handbags, this is what physical things do you surround yourself in life with? My friend, who is not a rich person at all, always says, a poor girl can't afford to buy cheap. This is one of those things where even if you have only one beautiful, nice, high-end thing, even if you save up for months to get one beautiful thing, I'm not telling you to go out and splurge or put yourself in debt. You don't want to be in this place of worrying about your life. But if you focus and you have goals, #goals, surrounding yourself with physical things that speak of your worth, that are worthy of you, even if it's just one thing. One thing, like that first amazing piece of leather good that I bought years ago, where it was my first designer thing, and I cherished that thing. You're gonna laugh, but I took it out every day and I smelled it because the leather was so amazing. And those of you who are vegan, I talked about looking out for the planet. I totally get that, and I am working on my own beliefs about that and figuring out for myself where I want to go from there. But for now, some of the leather industry is sustainable, and you can do that. You can do that research about what leather comes from farms where the cows are grass raised and they're raised free, and you can find designers who are conscientious like that. And since the meat industry is still a real thing, there's certain amounts of the animal consciousness that is aware of that, and there are realities of how the world is now. And again, I'm not taking a political stance on any of this, but what I'm saying is some of you need to buy a handbag, or, some of you can call it a man bag, but, it's a handbag, especially if it's a designer one. And that is worthy of you, that will hold all the beautiful, very 3D, abundant things that are in your life, that makes you feel like $1 million. And even if it's not a handbag, buy yourself an accessory that makes you feel like $1 million. Because if you feel like $1 million, money is going to stick to you like glue. Money follows people who feel rich. And that's a fact. That is something that even the people who started from nothing will tell you, I was working at McDonald's, but I knew I was going to drive a Porsche. I knew I was going to be worth $1 million someday. And because those people know that, and they treat themselves like that, they end up becoming these amazingly abundant people that then everyone else looks in from the outside and goes, how did you do it? You must be magical. So yeah, buy a handbag, whatever that means to you. If it's a vegan handbag, great. If it's not a handbag, but it's another sort of accessory that makes you feel abundant and royal, like the royalty you are. You are royalty. And some of you don't know it yet. But it is my sincere wish that you treat yourself that way. Even if it's just getting yourself one thing that you've never let yourself have before, not putting yourself in debt to do it, being smart. This page of air is super logical and plans well, so be smart about it, but realize that this is where you're going for. You want it all. So yeah, that was a little bit of a soapbox, and I apologize, but I want to be clear when I, encourage people to celebrate in these ways. I don't want anyone to be putting themselves in hardship, but I do want you to have hashtag goals, and I want you to not devalue yourself. This is this idea of not settling for the life you had before, to realize that you do not hurt anyone by valuing yourself more. In fact, the more you value yourself, the more abundance that you create that amazing company, you make that crazy groundbreaking invention, you create that tech, you make that movie, you make that whatever it is, your gift to the world. And money will flock to you like you can't give it away. And then you will give it away. That's the best part of valuing yourself first, of realizing that you are worth $1 million or $1 billion. Whatever the amount it is, it doesn't matter. The sky's the limit. If you value yourself, you're going to become an abundant person so that you overflow with wealth. And you have so much that you can give it away. Give it away to the foundations, the charities, the people, the causes that you love, and really make a difference in the world. The most wealthy people, the most noble of the wealthy people, give away billions of dollars to amazing charities and causes that they care about. And you will have that amazing feeling too. And I want you to have that. And the beginning of that is to value yourself first and to realize you already are that. So yeah, what a tremendous burst of empowerment and love, self-love and love for others. I can't tell you how much of a glow I'm feeling off of this reading, and I'm really excited for all of you. I'm excited for this eclipse season. I'm excited for what all of you are going to manifest based on your wish from 0 degrees Leo. I'm just excited in general. Yeah. Those of you who would like a reading for yourself, this is a really kick-ass general reading, but those of you who would like a reading for yourself, especially going into eclipse season and beyond, please visit my website at shinyallthetime.com. I believe it's /services, or you could just go to Shiny All the Time and click on the services link at the top, and I will be more than happy to serve you in any way that you request off of that page. Yes, so much victory. And I can't wait to see more. I'm really looking forward to next week and the weeks beyond. Thank you all so very much for tuning in for this reading, and I hope you will join me next time. And until then, get out there, be brilliant because you already are. Trust your inner life, treat yourself like $1 million, and I guarantee you're all going to be glowing from within, and everyone around you will wonder what your secret is. So yeah, stay shiny, everyone. Love you a lot. See you next time.